Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Dr. Mangesh Tushing, Assistant Professor in Chemistry at Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samaj, Nashik. Friends, in last videos we have seen nucleophilic substitution reactions, SN1 reaction, SN2 reactions, stereochemistry of SN1 reactions, stereochemistry of SN2 reactions, their energy profile diagrams, as well as we started the structural effects or some effects, factors that affects the nucleophilic substitution reactions, the mechanisms of nucleophilic substitution reactions. Either reaction goes via SN1 reaction or SN2 reaction. In that case, we have completed effect of substrate, effect of leaving group, effect of nucleophile. In this video, we will learn about effect of solvent in nucleophilic substitution. Friends, before going into the details, we will see types of solvents. So in nucleophilic substitution, there are mainly two types of solvents: polar protic solvents and polar aprotic solvent. So polar protic solvent means the solvents having OH groups, good hydrogen bond donors. So oxygen is attached to the oxygen. So mostly alcohols or as acids are like polar protic solvent. For example, water contains OH, then methanol, ethanol, tertiary butanol, acetic acid. So these are the functional group, these are the compounds which containing OH bond. So exchangeable H atom is there, exchangeable proton is there. That's why these are called as polar protic solvents. The second type of solvent is polar aprotic solvents. So polar aprotic solvents having a strong dipoles but cannot donate a hydrogen bonding. So they are polar solvents, still they are polar solvents, but aprotic means there is no exchangeable protons. So it cannot form a hydrogen bond. So the solvents are like acetone, acetonitrile, tetrahydrofuran, dimethyl sulfoxide, dimethyl formamide, HMPA, that is hexamethyl phosphoramide. So all these compounds are polar compounds. They're having a strong dipoles, but they don't have exchangeable protons. So they don't have, they are not forming a hydrogen bonding. So there are these are the two types of solvents: polar protic solvents, and second one is polar aprotic solvents. Friends, how these solvents affects the mechanism, affects the rate of reactions, we'll see. There are two types of solvents, as we know that, in which SN2 reaction, SN1 reactions, E2, E1 reactions can take place: polar aprotic solvents and polar protic solvents. Friends, suppose this is one of the reaction, that is SN2 reaction. So Br, that is a good leaving group, and that is reacted with azide. This is the azide N3 minus. So N3 minus acts as a nucleophile that attacks on the carbon, and Br minus will leave. So if you study this reaction by using various solvents like methanol, water, DMSO, DMF, or acetonitrile. So if you see the rate of reaction, if these are the protic solvents having exchangeable protons, then rate of reactions are somewhat normal, 1 and 7. But if you are using polar solvents but aprotic solvents, then drastically change in rate of the reaction. So SN2 rate of the reaction goes on increasing, that is 1300 times. So DMF again rate will be increased, acetonitrile rate will be higher. So in this way, if you are using polar aprotic solvents, reaction rate of the SN2 reactions will be higher. So reaction rates in various solvents for SN2 reactions will be higher. In case of in polar protic solvents, solvates cations as well as anions will. So polar protic solvents, solvates like hydrogen bonding formations. If we are using NaBr for the source of nucleophile Br minus in H2O. So H2O is a polar protic solvent. So Na plus is solvated by ion dipole interactions with water molecule. And similarly, Br minus is also solvated by the strong hydrogen bonding interactions. For example, this is the Na cation that is solvated by the water molecule. These are the oxygens. So oxygen is partially negatively charged. sodium is partially positively charged, so that is solvated. So these ions are quite stable. So similarly, this Na Br minus, so this Br minus is also solvated by using by hydrogen bonding of H2O. So this is the H2O molecule, this is hydrogen. Hydrogen is partially positive charge, Br is a negative charge. So there will be some electrostatic bond. That electrostatic bond is called as hydrogen bond. So because of this hydrogen bonding, Br minus becomes stable. But because of this solvation, the nucleophilicity of this Br minus will decrease. That's why the SN2 reaction rate will be less. So hydrogen bond having reduced the ability of Br minus to act as a nucleophile, because that is very well stabilized by the solvation of polar protic solvent. So polar aprotic solvents solvate the cations by ion dipole interactions, while anions are not well solvated because solvent cannot hydrogen bond to them. These anions are said to be naked, so free to attack. That's why they are more reactive. For example, same NaBr is a salt, but if we are using polar aprotic solvents, then whatever the cation is formed, that is well solvated, because suppose this is acetone as a solvent. Acetone is a polar aprotic solvent, so it don't have OH or H, that is exchangeable proton. So what will happen? The oxygen is partially negatively charged, this sodium cation is positively charged, so there will be electrostatic bond. So cations will be very well stabilized. But in case of anions, now anions are negatively charged, that is, for example, this is Br minus, but there is no exchangeable protons or electropositive hydrogen. So there is no hydrogen bonding in case of this one. So these Br minus are free to attack, that becomes more reactive, that is called as naked nucleophiles, becomes more reactive. So rate of the SN2 reactions will be higher in case of polar aprotic solvent. So this is the difference between polar aprotic solvent and polar protic solvents. In case of polar protic solvents, whatever the nucleophiles are there, those are very well stable and becomes unreactive because of hydrogen bonding. But in case of polar aprotic solvents, nucleophile are not forming a hydrogen bond with solvent, so they becomes more reactive and free to attack on the substrate. Since it is an anion, that is nucleophile, that matters in SN2 reactions. Solvents that do not stabilize the negatively charged gives faster reactions, just we saw now. In case of aprotic solvents, ion dipole interactions are much weaker, because the positive end of the net dipole is typically buried inside the solvent of the molecule. So in polar aprotic solvents, there is no ion dipole interactions, the hydrogen bonding is absent. So see here again, suppose this is any anion or nucleophile. So in case of polar protic solvents, whatever the hydrogens are there, these hydrogens are electropositive charge and this is negative charge. So there will be the hydrogen bonding, weak electrostatic bond. So these anions, these nucleophiles becomes unreactive, because anions very strongly solvated, heavily stabilized by the hydrogen bonding in case of protic solvents. But in opposite way, if we are using aprotic solvents like acetone, DMF, HMPA, so in this case anions weakly solvated, not heavily stabilized. So there is no hydrogen bonding at all, there is no exchangeable protons, so there is no hydrogen bonding. So this anion, this nucleophile is becomes more reactive, free to attack. That's why SN2 rate of reaction is higher in case of polar aprotic solvents, while rate of the SN2 reaction is decreased in case of protic solvents. Now we will see solvent effects in case of nucleophilicity trends. As we know that nucleophilicity increases with basicity. So in case of polar solvents, polar protic solvents, nucleophilicity increases down column of the column of the periodic table, as the size of anion increases opposite the basicity. Friends, if there are these are the nucleophiles F minus, Cl minus, Br minus, I minus in a column, then increasing the nucleophilicity in polar protic solvents. So, from left to right, sorry, not left to right, from top to bottom, increasing the nucleophilicity in polar protic solvents. While in polar aprotic solvents, the nucleophilicity parallels the basicity and the stronger base becomes stronger nucleophile. So, here F minus is more nucleophilic than I minus in case of polar aprotic solvents. Friends, SN2 reaction generally decreases with increasing solvent polarity because in polar protic solvents like H2O, ROH or COOH, the nucleophile itself is solvated by the hydrogen bonding and it is difficult for the nucleophile to attack on the substrate. For example, suppose this is any nucleophile and if we are using a polar protic solvent, so what will happen? Because of this polar protic solvent, it contains a hydrogen which is electropositive charge and nucleophiles are our negatively charged or electron rich. So, they are forming a hydrogen bond, they are forming a weak electrostatic bond and because of this one what will happen? This nucleophile will get stabilized. So, nucleophilicity of the nucleophile will be decreased and this nucleophile having a difficulty, it is difficult for this nucleophile to attack on the substrate because this is stable solvated by the polar protic solvents. That's why the rate of SN2 reactions are generally decreases with increasing solvent polarity. So, in polar protic solvents, the rate of the SN2 reaction decreases. For example, we will see this reaction, that is azide. So, in case of azide, this is the source, sodium azide. Iodine is a iodine is a leaving group. Azide acts as a nucleophile. So, if we are using methanol as a solvent, so dielectric constant is 33. This is polar protic solvent. So, if you are doing this SN2 reaction or substitution reactions, our product is methyl azide. So, iodine is replaced by the azide group. So, relative SN2 rate will be 1, that is slow. But if we are using same substrate, same nucleophile, just we will change a solvent, that is DMF, dimethyl formamide. Now, this is polar solvent but aprotic solvents, there is no proton. Now, if you observe the same product and relative rate of the reaction will be 4 into 4.10 raised to 4, that is very fast, that is as compared to first reaction, the rate of the second reaction is around 10 raised to 4 times more than the first. So, in first case, if you are using a polar protic solvent, nucleophilicity of the nucleophile decreases because nucleophile itself getting solvated, itself getting stabilized by the hydrogen bonding. So, nucleophilicity decrease. While in case of polar aprotic solvent, the nucleophile is not forming a hydrogen bond, not forming a electrostatic bond with the solvent. So, nucleophilicity of the nucleophile will be increased. That's why reaction rate will be increased. So, in aprotic polar solvents like DMF, DMSO, the solvation of the cation takes place and nucleophile is set to free for the attack. Thus, in aprotic polar solvents, rate of the SN2 reactions are very high. So, highly polar protic solvents will shift the mechanism from SN2 to SN1, while highly polar but aprotic solvent will change the mechanism from SN1 to SN2 reaction. So, polar protic solvents increases the rate of SN1 reaction, while polar aprotic solvents increases the rate of SN2 reactions. So, now we will see what are the differences of the SN2 reactions and SN1 reactions. So, this is just differentiation table, we will see one by one. Already we had learn, we have seen this SN1 mechanism as well as SN2 mechanism, substrate effect, mechanisms, their energy profile diagrams. Now we will compare all these SN1 reactions as well as SN2 reactions in tabular form in one slide. So, in SN1 mechanism, it follows a first order kinetics, while SN2 mechanism follows a second order kinetics. It is two-step mechanism. So, SN1 is a two-step mechanism, while SN2 is a one-step mechanism. Stereochemically, SN1 involves the racemization. So, percentage, that is two products are possible, enantiomers of each other. So, stereochemistry of the product that involves the racemization, while in case of SN2 reaction it involves complete stereochemical inversion, because in SN2 reaction nucleophile coming from the backside of the leaving group. So, stereochemistry of the substrate is getting inverted, that is inversion of configuration. So, in case of SN2 mechanism there is a inversion of configuration, while in SN1 mechanism that is racemization. Fourth difference, in SN1 reaction rearrangement takes place because it forms a carbocation. It goes via carbocation. If there is a carbocation formation, so rearrangement will takes place to chips to change the stability of the carbocation. Primary carbocation are less stable and tertiary carbocations are more stable. So if carbocation is formed, it tried to shift primary to secondary, secondary to tertiary to get more stable. While in case of here, there is a concerted mechanism. So no carbocation formation, concerted. So simultaneously, leaving group will leave and nucleophile will attack. So there is a absence of rearrangement. There is no rearrangement. In case of SN1 mechanism, that depends upon the carbocation stability. As we know that tertiary carbocations are more stable. That's why the reactivity sequence in case of SN1 is tertiary is more than secondary, than primary, than methyl, because that involves the carbocation stability. So according to the carbocation stability, the rate of reaction decreasing from tertiary to secondary to primary to methyl. While in case of SN2 mechanism, here is a backside attack of the nucleophile. So from the backside there should be the less steric hindrance. So if less steric hindrance is there, reaction rate will be higher. So in case of methyl group, the steric hindrance is very less, that's why rate of SN2 reactions will be high. If you are shifting towards the primary, secondary and tertiary, the alkyl groups are increases, crowding increases, steric hindrance increases. So as steric hindrance increases, backside attack will be hindered. So rate of SN2 reactions will be decreased from methyl to primary to secondary to tertiary. So sixth difference is more steric hindrance favors the SN1 mechanism, while less steric hindrance favors the SN2 mechanism. Just in this video we saw polar solvent increases the rate of SN1 reaction, while polar solvent decreases the rate of SN2 reactions, because polar solvents solvates the nucleophile in case of SN2 reactions, while in case of polar solvents, polar protic solvents increases the dissociation of the substrate as well as stabilization of the carbocation. That's why the polar solvent increases the rate of SN1 mechanism. Similarly, weak nucleophile favors the SN1 mechanism, while strong nucleophile favors the SN2 mechanism. SN1 mechanisms are controlled by the thermodynamic factor. That's why weak nucleophile favors the SN1, while strong nucleophiles favors the SN2, because SN2 reactions are monitored by the kinetic factors. So as the strong nucleophiles will there, that favors the SN2 mechanism. Thank you friends.